Um, this is group 4 assignment. My name is Ebenezer Eson. I'm representing group 4 assignment. So I'm starting this assignment. The topic for our assignment is job search on big data and data analysis. So for this assignment, we use LinkedIn job search to look at what people, the kind of job they are looking for on LinkedIn, and to also see how many times they go on the website to look and search for job. So about our data, like I said, we try to scrape information from LinkedIn websites by taking the category, the big data and data analyst. We also look at each entry, that is the likes of job name, the company hiring, and their location. We work with more than 100 entries that were included in our database. Then each entry include the likes of the job name, like I said earlier, the company hiring, and their location. So this is my team, my humble self. Like I said earlier, my name is Ebenezer. I introduced the team and also introduced the project. So our programmer and the web scraper happen to be Anata. Then Mohit work on the cloud database, while Karan work on the CRUD operation. The tools that we use for this assignment was Selenium. Then we also work with MongoDB. We work with Flash. We work with Jupyter Notes. Then we also use Beautiful Soup and Azure. So this is our application. We started with Selenium. Then we moved to a Beautiful Soup. Then our database was we use MongoDB. Then Azure. Then we use Flash to introduce to display our CRUD operation. So I will pass it on to my colleague, Nata, that's going to talk about the web scrape.
Thank you, Sean. This is Ananda Krishnan here. I'm going to be explaining the web scraping part. Okay, so as you can see in the screenshot, I've chosen LinkedIn, which is a common platform nowadays used by many computer professionals so as to find new jobs, create new connections, find new references. It has helped, and it is still one of the most used social platforms for computer professionals. So I thought to myself, why not use this website to get my data from? So the data that I've collected from this website is basically job listings in categories big data and data analyst. So what I have done is I went to LinkedIn, logged into my credentials, and then I've searched for the two categories. One was big data and one was data analyst. And from each page, the listings of jobs I collected into the data. So the fields that I have in my database when after scraping is the name of the job, the company hiring, the location, then when this job was posted into LinkedIn, like that. So as you can see, the web browser is automated using Selenium to search for job listings in category big data and data analyst. One of the reasons why I chose Selenium is to make these processes. Since the data that I'm getting from the website is not static, it's not from a single page, the process of getting it manually can be a bit cumbersome. So for that, I chose a tool called Selenium, which is actually a web browser driver. And I automated some of these processes so that it can automatically iterate to different pages and get the data I need. And I'll be demonstrating that steps further down the line. So the job listings from each page is then fed through Beautiful Soup and read into the list so as to convert into a CSV for further importing it into a database. So the coding is done in Jupyter, as you can see. So for the demonstration, I'm going to open Chrome into Jupyter coding section. Okay, and as you can see here, I've imported tools like Selenium, then Beautiful Soup, which is to collect the data and convert it. And the Selenium is using a function known as WebDriver, which browses through Chrome to automate all those stuff. And as you can see, I've defined a function, scrap LinkedIn, where I've passed parameters like username field and password field. That's the division from the website, and I've passed my username, my personal username and password to it so as to collect the data from. And the job categories I've used were big data and data analyst. So each time the program runs, Chrome opens and it goes into the job search and it searches for these 2 jobs. And like I've created a loop for I in words. Every time it chooses big data and data analyst, it goes to the job, clicks the button, searches for it, gets the data in each instance. And finally, the data, all the data that is collected from those HTML is sourced into the HTML file, and which is then fed through Beautiful Soup to append into the list BS4 HTML. So I'm gonna run the demonstration. As you can see, it all automatically invoked a website, LinkedIn. It joined in with my credentials, and it's searching for big data. As you can see, the job section, it's going to collect this data into a section from one instance. Then it's going to iterate into the next category. After some time, I've set the time sleep to 3 seconds, and then it went to data analyst. And as you can see, it's going to keep on collecting data until the required number of data has been collected. And for that, I've set it to almost 120 entries, which was required by my assignment. So I'm going to close this now because it's going to keep on iterating since all the data has been collected. And this data then is used here. And here is the filtering part where all the unnecessary HTML parts are removed. And the final data is converted into a data frame, and the column headings are given, and this is the final data that is to be converted. Now I'm going to pass on to Mohit. He's going to demonstrate how this data was imported into MongoDB and how the connection was made.
Okay, so thank you, Ananda. So from now on, in our assignment, I'll be explaining how we use the data which we collected and how we use it to insert it into a cloud server. So what we basically have till now is the data collected and curated, and which is converted into a CSV file. And now here, using Azure Server, we load or insert the data into a server of server using MongoDB tool. Okay, so basically here I'll just go into the code function, to the codes. So basically here what we do is we created a class called MongoDB, and then we defined it with its database name and collection name. And we have given the names for the database name as the DB name, and for the collection name we have named it as collection name itself. And then as you can see here, this is a primary or the major code we use here for creating a connection to the server. And as the connection of the server is obtained, then we move forward for inserting the data into the server. So for this one, we as you can see, we have given the insert data function where we use the already made CSV file, and we insert those data through these codes. So after inserting the data, we have made a print function showing all data is exported, so that we can know if all the data is being exported. And here so this is what we show in the PowerPoint, and we can from here we can go on towards the Jupyter where we show it. So here is the Jupyter where we code it in real time, and as for further explaining, we can see itself where I explained till now. We use a print function for all data is exported, and then for calling the function MongoDB, calling the class MongoDB, we use it, and we use the insert data function also. So after the code is run, we have successfully got the output as all data is exported. So now the data is exported, we can move forward to the Atlas, to the MongoDB Atlas, where we use it as our cloud database. We use it for our cloud database. So basically now you can see here we have our database name as test and the collection name as jobs. Okay, so after doing forward, or after uploading it to the data server, we successfully got the results of each data we exported to the server, as with all the details or with all the variables such as designation, company, allocation, status, connection works here. The connection works here is probably any connection that works on that company or that institution, which we already have, and the posting status, job ID, etc. So like this, all the data with its all variables are being, there are different kinds of views. We can use a table view, which we used in the PowerPoint, which I'll be showing you. So as the same method, we have successfully exported all the data to the cloud server, and a table view of the same we have shown in our PowerPoint. Here it is. So here in this screenshot of the MongoDB, you can see that we have the test.jobs, which is our our collection jobs and the database name to test, where we have this is a tabular view where we have the object ID, designation, company, location, status, everything, and extra. There is more, which but unfortunately we couldn't represent everything in the presentation, so that's why I showed you in real in the MongoDB itself. So here you can see that this is how we successfully uploaded all the data to the MongoDB. So from here on, for explaining the web application, I'll hand it over to Karan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohit. So let me show you the CRUD applications and the web application. So these are the codes that I have used. So we have used the LinkedIn data. So this is the basic codes that we are going to use. I mean, these are the by default codes. So we are going to use the delete the entry, update the entry, edit the entry, and view the entries. We have imported the file here. So we are going to insert the job ID, company location, and designation, and then run it. So this is the CRUD application. Here are the options that we can use while creating and updating these things, like index, index CSS, index JS, component. These will show all the components. Okay, so this is the code that I have used. You can see for inserting data. This some of the codes are used um, to enter the data and to delete the data and update and to view the data. I will show you after. I will run it and I will show you. So let's run it. So when I use the Visual Studio, okay, so here it is. So our data is going to view. Okay, so this is our data. So you can see this is the data onto the CRUD app. Yeah, so here by clicking on this bins, you can delete the data. Let's see all the data. You can see all the data. If you click here, you can delete the data. If you want to create, you have to click here. You can write your name. I mean, the name which you want here, the location, component, and designation, and data. Here it is. Thank you.